41. Somebody just dropped off. So
must have been Bob Hatley's other persona.
Yeah, we hit the high water mark. It's 12:40. Ding, ding. Good afternoon, Cary Rotary.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Scott's fired up. He's
Scott muted himself. Got so excited.
Thank you. I think I did an automatic mute. That's the first time I've done that. So welcome, everybody. Very excited about today. What a beautiful day outside. It's about 65 or so right now. Sunny. It's going to be nice the rest of the week. Appreciate everybody taking time out of their busy schedule to get on board, to see this meeting and be a part of the meeting today. A lot of good stuff to cover. And we'll get into that momentarily. I'd first like to ask if Ben Shiver could lead us in prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Ben?
President Scott and all members, please bow with me. Our Heavenly Father, we assemble today to first honor your holy name as our Creator, Sovereign, and Sustaining God. Your name and your word is exalted above all. We give thanks for this beautiful day, our members and their families of this club, our guests, and our guest speaker. And we also, Lord, give thanks for the opportunity to fellowship with all of these people, our club members, and to serve the many needs of our community and even the world. As this club addresses these needs, we pray your guidance to our leadership, our purposes and plans, and how we exemplify service to all. For those members who are unable to be with us today, we pray your love and protection upon them. And for those suffering from illness, we pray that they be relieved from suffering and made whole once again. And I pray this in the name of the risen Christ. Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you. Awesome. Before we get started into today's program, I'd like to give everybody a quick update on John Miller. Everybody saw Renee's note a couple days ago regarding John and the fact that he's currently in the hospital. The good news is I heard from him day before yesterday. The good news is he's getting to be on his way back. So he'll be in the hospital for the next several days. And would just ask that everybody continue to give prayers to John and his family. He's going to be fine. And so this was more of a preemptive approach to taking care of some things that will help going forward. So John is himself. I got a text from him and had a little sarcasm in it. It had a few other things in it, and it was good to see. So we'll keep everybody updated once John gets back to his home turf, and we'll decide as a club what might we want to do to help both he and his wife once they're back together again. So thank you for your understanding and your prayers, certainly. Bob, could I ask, do we have any visiting Rotarians or guests on the call this afternoon, that you can tell?
I do not see any guests or visitors today, with the exception, of course, of our program speaker.
Got it. Great. Thank you, Bob. And so now let's move to club announcements. If I could call on Renee Spell to update us on our very exciting upcoming day of service, which is April 17th, as you're all well aware. She'll update us on that. And then also another special update that she'll give us. So Renee?
Thank you, President Scott. We are very excited about our day of service. I in particular, because it all came together, all the pieces fit. You got your email, the first one that will be coming to you weekly now with the list of needs for Interact. In the beginning of that email that came to you, there were some that were highlighted as urgent needs. Those are things that are needed right now. And I've already gotten some feedback from a few of you wanting to fulfill those needs. They would still need to be brought to me. We have one contact to get those things delivered because that facility is not staffed every day. So as you gather things, you have my contact information. Just reach out to me and we'll get that coordinated. But so far, so good. Very excited about it. And Allison Strickland, one of the contacts there, is actually going to be speaking to our Rotary on April the 13th, which is the week that we will be doing the bulk of the collection. So I'm very excited about having her present. And any questions you have, just shoot me an email, give me a call, and I'll try to direct you as best I can. The other really exciting thing is I have found someone to do a virtual trivia night for us. He's a local DJ, as a matter of fact, but this is what he's been doing during the pandemic and doing virtual trivia nights. And he's now moved back in person to some local taverns around. So he's got a lot of experience with doing this. And I'll be giving you more information moving forward, but that date to mark on your calendar is April the 9th. And it's a Friday night after Easter, 7 o'clock. And for like an hour, hour and a half, we'll just log in and play games, and there will be prizes. I've been given permission to give prizes, so we'll come up with that. Anyway, those two things just to keep in mind and keep on your calendar. And thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Renee. How exciting is that? First of all, day of service. I can't wait. And the process that's been put in place by Renee has been outstanding. And so please, if you haven't already had a chance to review her email that's very detailed, please do so. And any questions you have, don't hesitate. Just ask away. And we hope we can get full participation from our club in this very special project. So thank you for that. And I look forward to the trivia night. That's going to be awesome. So a lot of good stuff coming up. Thank you, Renee. Does anybody else have an announcement to make? I know we've got some miracle moments and we'll get there, but I'm talking specifically about announcements. I just want to make sure we're all covered here.
I have an announcement, Scott.
Okay, Darren.
Guys, just wanted to say I sent out the scholarship applications to those of you who have asked to be on one side or both of the committees. So those were sent out yesterday. And I have one person I need to contact about that, but we'll talk offline. We're going to try to get those graded and reviewed. I know there's some we ended up with 11 applicants. So we're going to nail that down to either the 3 or 4 best. And then at that point, we'll get those 3 or 4 in for that interview that several of you have also volunteered for. So we'll get that done too. But just wanted to give everybody an update. We ended up with 11 applicants. And so the scholarship selection committee is going to try to find the absolute best student we can to represent us during the next year. So that's my announcement. Thank you, President Scott.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you for that update, Darren. And it looks like the interviews are going to take place April 6th on Tuesday from 2 to 5:30.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks. And just keep us updated as things go along here. Appreciate your leadership on that.
We'll do it.
Okay. Any other? I've just got a few I'll run through then. And the first is that I would like to recognize all the women in the club, all the women in the club. Yesterday was an important day, International Women's Day, in recognition of a lot of different things. But I just want to say, from my perspective, that we're so fortunate to have the women that we have in this club. They make our club what it is. And I couldn't be any more thankful for that. So to you women out there, thank you for everything you do. Thank you for everything you do for this club. So thank you for that. And now moving on, we have a couple of district governor notes here very quickly. Just so everybody's up to speed, we have president-elect training that both Bob and Rod are participating in March 18th to 20th. That's taken care of. They're going to be fully trained. And well, they're already fully trained, quite honestly. They could probably teach this. But in any event, that's happening on March 18th to 20th. Boys and Girls Homes of North Carolina video tour. I'll get a note out to the club on this, but this is basically an opportunity to see a virtual tour of the Boys and Girls Home of North Carolina at Lake Waccamaw. This will be on March 28th, 2021 at 2 o'clock. And I'll send a note out as a reminder, and it'll show you how to sign on for that. And then Launch Cary, quick update on this. Everybody's aware we're just kicked this off the beginning of January, and we are participating in a Launch Cary pitch contest. And essentially what this is, there's 22 participants in Launch Cary for this go round. And there will be an opportunity for them to make a pitch about their business. And this pitch will be done in front of Rotarians and other business leaders. And at the end of this contest, selections will be made for placement 1 through 5. And there'll be dollar awards associated with where people fit within the placements. So first place, $1,250, fifth place, $250. So somewhere in between, the people falling in between will get something in between those numbers. We're so fortunate to have Tim Mannix, who will be representing our club as a professor for this contest and as a judge. And so Tim, thank you very much for that. The club donated $500 along with 6 other area Cary clubs to make this happen. What a nice ending to a great project that's going to hopefully reward a lot of folks and giving them a good kickstart to beginning their business. So, and I'll get more out on that via email as well. Lastly, let me just say, we did have a meeting last week. Everybody's well aware of this. We've been monitoring the COVID scenario, taking it very seriously. We've been very pragmatic as a board as we've sort of worked through all the information that's out there. And things change, but I'll tell you what, we came to a decision last week. We will be returning. Happy to report to everybody on board, and we'll make sure everybody else knows. We'll be returning in person beginning next week, McGregor Downs, 12:30. We'll also, in conjunction with that, still conduct our meetings via hybrid. So if you're comfortable, by all means, come out to the club in person, have a nice meal. And if you're not to that point yet, that's okay. Join us with Zoom. That's fine too. And so I will be getting out some updated protocols to the club so everybody knows sort of what the expectations are once they walk in the front door. No surprises there at all. So very excited for that. Looking forward to welcoming everybody back to McGregor Downs. And I just noticed I did leave somebody off my announcement list, and Mr. Leon Abbas. Leon, could you say a few words about our DR note and project that we just took care of?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
This morning, a note was sent to our membership, and I hope that you've read it. If not, it's there. The DR project is going along well. As you know, we're building 3 homes, but in the past, there were travelers, workers that were part of the team in building, and we all contributed to what was called a community fund, and that money was used to meet needs in the community on an individual basis. In the case of these 3 houses, when they're built, they're empty, and the people moving into these homes don't have much. And that's the reason they were selected to receive the homes. So what we're asking is that if you're so moved, would you write a check made out to the club and mail it to Blair Hatcher? The information is in the email. And if you could do this before the end of the month, then in early April, we'll forward those funds to the Santiago Club to make the purchases. And so think about it carefully. It's a nice cause. And recall, we're the lead club in the district for this project. So I think it'd be nice if we could support it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Leon, for your leadership and your guidance on this very important project. Look forward to hearing big things ahead on this front. If you haven't read it, go through the note. It's very clear and direct on what we need to do here. And we'll keep everybody updated as to how we do over the upcoming weeks. I appreciate everybody's support in that. And now I just want to let everybody know this just happened right now, it just happened. Guess who texted me? John Miller just texted me. So I'll give everybody a further update on John. Please tell everyone I say hello. They have me moved to the regular ICU now. So he wanted me to pass on a hello to everybody. He's doing fine and getting along, and that's good to hear. Good for John. Thank you, John. All right. And yes, very, very much so. And lastly, this is my last announcement, and we're going to go right to Miracle Moments. So you folks with Miracle Moments, get ready. You're on the clock in a minute. Club invoices. Club invoices went out January 11th. Everybody has them. To those that have paid the invoices, whatever it is that was due, thank you for that. That's important to us, obviously. And for those that haven't had a chance to get to those invoices, could you please, over the next several days, dig into your emails and pull those back out and pay those invoices? That would be appreciated. We're trying to clean up the Q3 books by the end of this month, and with your help, we'll be able to do that. I appreciate everybody's understanding in that. With that, I'm going to move right into Miracle Moments, and I'd like to call on Paul Weselkevich right off the bat. Paul?
Thank you kindly, President Scott. Late last week, my wife's first cousin's son, Joe Driggers, who's a detective sergeant in the Thomasville Police Department, Thomasville, North Carolina. He ended a 2-county chase where a individual drove a motorcycle over 120 miles an hour. Joe was the one who stopped him. He left his car to arrest him, took about 5 steps, and that individual gunned his motorcycle and drove over the top of Joe. He was seriously injured, airlifted to Baptist Hospital in Winston-Salem. The miracle moment is he survived. He had a lot of internal stuff and external, but he has actually just been transferred home. So, but he's got a long road to recovery. Please pray for him, his wife, and 3 little girls. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. You've got our prayers. Thank you. It's good to hear things are going in the right direction on that situation. And Darren, Miracle Moment.
Thank you, President Scott. As many of you know, you've been out getting your shots. My wife is a school teacher. She got shot number 1. She's waiting on number 2. I know that several of us have gotten both. And so the world is starting to go back to normal a little bit. And that was evident this past weekend where my youngest daughter was in her first live dance competition in 52 weeks. And I am happy to say she finished 2nd and 3rd in 2 different dances. And more notably, I think the competition was called Star Quest. They do a Facebook page after the event, and my daughter was on the front page, baby.
All right.
Super happy. She did great. The whole troop did well. And it's nice to see that the kids, I know someone mentioned earlier about being isolated and not having that friends. They're still wearing masks while they're on stage in group, but you know, I'd rather them do that than not even have it. So it's so nice to see the young people out there getting involved and doing things. So let's pray that that continues.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations to your daughter.
Thank you.
That's great. Great. All right. Any other miracle moments? All right, then. We're going to move right into the meat of the program today. Very excited to call on Pat Hudson to introduce our very special guest for today. Pat? You're muted.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm really happy to introduce Joy Ennis, who's been an art administrator in the town of Cary for 18 years. I first got to know her when she was running around like a whirlwind in lazy days and spring days. So she certainly worked through that, and we've had wonderful arts festival. In 2014, she moved to open the Cary Theater, and for the last 6 years, she shepherded the town's growth through the only art house cinema. Earlier this year, Joy was tapped to take on the challenge of opening the new downtown Cary Park, and she's thrilled to combine her years of outdoor and indoor events and facility experience to bring this new park to life. And I'm really excited to see how this is going to look, because it's been on the books a long time. Thanks, Joy. Welcome.
Thank you, Miss Pat. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for giving me time to talk to you. I have a special place in my heart for talking to Rotary clubs, because my husband is a Rotary member. So I like sharing the love with you guys. I'm going to share my screen. I've got some images to show you, which is always fun. Okay, share. And okay, so as you guys know, and this is really interesting that I'm talking to you guys today, because at this very moment, the construction staff is out on site and they're putting up the new construction fence, which is exciting. So what I wanted to do is just talk you through the park and give you lots of opportunities to ask questions, because I know you're going to have lots of questions. And so jump in at any time. I don't want it to be very formal. I want this to be something that'll be really useful for you guys and interesting. And so I'm going to just jump in. So just so you know, the area, where the park is right behind the new Cary Regional Library. And it goes from Academy Street over to Walker Street over to Park Street. So in total, the park will be 7 acres. The first area of the park is Town Square, which is phase 1, which is the current existing park piece there with the really nice fountain. And that is 1 acre, and that has been there for, I guess, 5 years. I think it's been there around 5 years. And the idea was always that the park was going to be built in phases, and the town actually started thinking about this project about 20 years ago, and they started land banking land in that whole area behind, in that 6 acre area. So this has really been a project that has been germinating for a very, very long time. And now we're at the point where the seeds of that vision are becoming reality. So it's really exciting for us. We've spent about 2 years in the design phase of phase 2, which started with an enormous amount of public input. There's a landscape architecture company that the town hired. They're out of Boston. They're called the Office of James Burnett. And they said that they had when they had sent out surveys at the beginning to start getting public input, they got more response from this project than they had ever had in any project. So this is really a park for the citizens, and it's not just for downtown Cary, it's for all of Cary and regional. We hope it'll be a regional draw as well. So there are several areas of the park to kind of get you oriented. One is the Academy Plaza. This is a building that has a market, bathrooms, and 130-seat event space, which is can be used for programming, or it can be used for just lunch or Rotary Club meetings, or things like that. There's a gathering house and a gathering garden, which is the gathering house is another mixed-use space, which is indoor-outdoor. The Park Street Courts, which is up by Park Street, which is a more recreational type area. the Bark Bar, which is exactly what it sounds like. It is dog park and a bar. There's botanical gardens, and going over the botanical gardens is an elevated skywalk. There's the pavilion and the Great Lawn, which will host concerts and events and dance things and all kinds of wonderful events. There's an island in what is the stormwater pond. There's a pond that goes through the middle of the park. It is technically a stormwater pond, but it is also going to be a nice feature for the park, a recreation feature for the park. There is an island in the middle of the pond. And we have a children's play area that we call the Nest. And you'll figure that out why in a little bit. This is the Academy Plaza building. It does front onto Academy Street. And in here, there is a splash paddy area. This area won't stay wet because these pavers are specially designed. When the water hits it, it goes straight through the paver. They actually brought one into the conference room and poured a glass of water on it, and the water went straight through it. It was amazing. So these jets dance in patterns, and they're also lit. This is the indoor-outdoor space here. There's a bank of 5 glass window doors that can be opened. So we could open it up and you could have your lunch there, or we could open it up and have an indoor-outdoor lecture, or it can be closed off and then we could have an event in here as well. This is the bathroom, and then the market space is over here. And then phase 1 is over here. So this is kind of what it's going to look like at night. It gives you an idea of how it will be activated during the evening. There's lots of planting beds around here. The amount of plants that is going to go in this park is going to be amazing. It's going to be a wonderful pollinator garden. I think there's something like 66,000 plants on the planting plan, with lots and lots of trees, with over 400 trees being put back into the park, which we're very excited about. This gives you another view of the plaza area. There's going to be lots of wood benches and lots of plantings. This is the market. It's a rendering. It's not going to be what the final market looks like, but on that Academy Plaza building, we're creating a mercantile, and it's a grab and go where you can go in and get a sandwich or a hummus or a fruit or a beer or a small bottle of wine and curate a picnic and go out into the park. We're hoping to do a lot of sourcing from local vendors like La Farm or Chocolate Smiles or anything that is local that we could source foodstuffs from to connect the park to the downtown area and our local community. We're also going to have in the marketplace a bean to cup coffee station. And we won't have a barista, but it'll be a higher level than a drip coffee. And we're also going to have a little area that has things like sunscreen or Band-Aids or swim diapers or things that you need to make your experience in the park better, but you didn't know you need them before you got there. So it'll be kind of a one-stop shop for making your experience in the park one that's even more pleasant. We're really excited about this idea. We haven't really found another park in the country that has a marketplace of this type. Mostly they have hamburger stands and things like that. So we're excited about doing something a little bit different. And this gives you a view of, this is what the market will look like from the outside. This is looking from the fountain. So there's lots of windows. It's very porous. You'll be able to see in, and there'll be lots of places to see what we have here, and you can see the shelves there. There's a little porch off to the side as well. And this is the outside of the market here. This is wood and wood architectural feature. And then this connects over to the green area in phase 1 of the current park here. So that'll all be integrated in together. So if we go over to the Walker Street side, we have the Bark Bar, which is very exciting. There's going to be a large dog park area, a small dog park area, and then the bar, which is an outdoor structure in the middle. And the dog parks, these are going to be part of the Cary's dog park system, but they're going to be a little bit different because there's a water feature for the dogs. There's these little water marbles that shoot up water that the dogs can play with. They're going to be logs and hills and rocks for them to run and climb on. This is artificial turf, so it's easier to clean and maintain, keeps it, we won't be having to replant grass, and the maintenance will be a lot more efficient. So we're really excited. I mean, beer and dogs, you can't really go wrong with that, right? This is what the bar looks like at night. Here's the outdoor bar space. This area here is actually going to house a fire pit. This is the roof line, which actually comes down. There's a bathroom space and storage space here. And so it'll be interesting when it rains, the water will drip into the fire pit. So we have the water and the fire going off at the same time. So this whole area here will have lots of charging stations for all kinds of devices and what have you. So you can kind of see that. And just so you guys know, if you guys are asking me things by chat, I cannot actually see the chat. So just jump in or somebody stop me because I want to answer your questions when you have them.
Joy, we'll come to questions after you finish your presentation.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
This is the pond, the stormwater pond, which we are calling the pond. There are 3 areas to this. It starts at the Park Street side of the park with a spring, and the spring comes down and it goes down this little weir, and it goes, there's a little, over here, there's a small little bridge, and then it goes into this middle pond, and then it goes down a little bit more, so, and then into the lower pond, and you can see the island here, which is accessible by this bridge that crosses through. This is the skywalk here over the botanical gardens. This here is the Walker project, which is a mixed-use development, which is going to ring the parking deck. So this is going to be 133 apartments, office space, and mixed-use development retail. So they're going to be our partners there. So you can access the island here off this this walkway, and this entire area, the water is a circulating system, so the water completely circulates, and so it won't stay flat and stagnant. So you'll have the sound of the water and the movement of the water. And one interesting thing about it is that there is a dye system that's also built into this system. So on March 17th, you perhaps could see all of this be green. So I thought that was right. I found that one looking at the plans one day, and I said, "What is this?" And they said, "Oh, that's the dye system." And so that was a fun little discovery. The Park Street Courts is over by Park Street. This is a sunk down arena, which is spec'd out to be natural grass. If we have some play in the budget, we may turn it into artificial turf just for maintenance sake. That's one of those things that we had to kind of put in the parking lot to say, okay, this would be something we'd love to do. If we can have some extra money carved out, we'll definitely do that. We'll do things like bocce and croquet and story time and theater in the round and all kinds of stuff here in this area. You can see there's lots of natural seating and lots of plantings around here. This is Park Street up here, and it's going to have a space for about 10 food trucks. So we should be having lots of food trucks out here on a regular basis. The farmers market will be resident in this area as well. So we have space for them. And this will be a really fun, active space. There's foosball tables. You can see how the plantings are. Lots of natural stone. And the thing I like to always remind people is these plantings, when we first open, they're going to be babies. So these, I asked them one day, I said, "Can you please send me some pictures with plants that are small?" It's going to take us a few years to get to this point, but this gives you a vision of what in maybe year 3, the plantings are going to start looking like and how it's going to fill in and how lush and beautiful it is. And all of these plantings are native and they're spec'd out specifically for this site so that they really can survive and flourish in their natural environment. In this area, we're moving the foosball table from phase 1 over here. We're adding another. There will be 2 table tennis. And in the entire park, there's going to be lots of furniture. You see, there's going to be Adirondack chairs. There's going to be chaise lounges. There's going to be tables and chairs that you can move around so that you can move the furniture where it works best for you. If you just want to be by yourself, you can take a chair and plop it down in the botanical garden and read a book. Or if you want to have a card game or gather a gathering together, you can do that as well. So that's really going to be fun because there's going to be a lot of options. We're going to have a putting green in this area. This is artificial turf. We will have, I think there's 5 hole placements that we can move on a random basis so that we won't have just the same hole over and over again. So this would be really fun. We'll bring out putters and balls so that people can play here just at, recreational play, or I can see us having putting tournaments and kind of fun things like that, that we can really tap into the golf culture that's here. Gives you a sense of where it is. This is the food truck area over here, and the arena's back here, and this is the Bark Bar. This is the Gathering Garden, and it is directly behind the Cotton House, over near the main inn. And this is an indoor-outdoor space too. There are about 20, 25, 30 doors, sets of glass doors on this space that open up so that it can be an indoor-outdoor space. The spring for the stormwater starts here, right here, and it goes down through that area. There's lots of plantings and grass there. This gives you kind of a sense of what this structure will look like. We have since changed it a little bit. So there's actually a clerestory window that's at the top that vaults the ceiling a little bit and gives it a little bit more light that comes in from the top. And this is how it looks when all the doors are open and the glass is flat against these pilasters. So we could do a pop-up market here. We could do a mini art festival. We could do all kinds of really interesting things so that we can use it during the winter and during the summer. That's where the spring starts going. This is the gathering house there. So this is the nest, which is our children's play area. And you'll really understand why we call it the nest here in just a minute. Phase 1 is right over here. And they're really using the natural topography of this, how it drops really far off. And we're putting all these slides over here. The parking deck is over here, and this is the library. So you can see phase 1 up there with the fountain. And then we're using all these slides. They're a combination of metal and polished concrete, so that there's different slides for different abilities. It is ADA accessible so that children with disabilities can get here without having to climb on things, so that they are able to participate in the way that they can participate as well. And gives you a sense. This is the bridge that comes over from the parking deck. There's a splash pad area, and these jets come out of the rock. They're hidden within the rocks. They are lighted. There won't be lots of standing water here. It's really just a play area. They'll be dancing in patterns. There's a green roof here that goes on top of this walkway that comes down from phase 1. So we're doing some other and more environmental things there. And this is why we call it the nest. This is our mated pair of cardinals. And they're about 20 feet tall. They overlook the fence, and children can play in them and outside of them. And you can slide out of, this is the male and the female here. There's nets. There's a nest back here with logs and nets and stumps. And the idea behind this area is that children play in the way that their imagination leads them rather than in a prescriptive way. And what I mean by that is if you have a swing set, you're supposed to swing on it. Well, in this way, you could be storming the island or, raising up a bird or anything that a child can imagine. That's how this area is envisioned to be. There is, in this area, there's also a special bathroom that's specifically for this area of the park. There is a fence that goes around this area, and that's just a safety precaution because it is a rather large area. And if you bring 2 children to the park, one could go this way and one could go this way. So there is a fence that kind of helps corral them in one location, and that's a safety feature. There is a lot of smart technology that's going in this park. These kiosks here at the top, there are going to be 5 of them in the park. They're double-sided and they're quite large. It's about 11 feet tall. And on this kiosk, we'll be giving you things that are going on that day or things that are coming up in the park. There'll be a park map and give you, this is the special at the market, and, talking about all kinds of things. the screen on the side is actually interactive. So you can go up and, you know, say, I want to go here, or tell me about this area of the park. So these are going to be really integral in getting information out about what you can do when you come to the park. If we have an emergency, we can transmit information through that. They're also hollow inside, and this is where we're going to bury all of the things like Wi-Fi connectors, because the entire park is connected with Wi-Fi. We can put cell tower information so that, you know, your cell service is better. We can put things in it like people counters, so we know how many people are accessing the park at what times of the day. So there's lots of technology that can go into this particular kiosk. And one interesting thing is that the town actually has entered into a really interesting agreement with a company called American Tower, and they were donated to the town, and these are about $50,000 a piece. So it's a really good collaboration, and we're very excited about it. The schedule. So construction is starting now this week. We're excited about it. We are planning to start big construction. We have infrastructure and pre-construction going on for the next few months. This summer, you'll start seeing things spring out of the ground. And then in 2 years, we're going to be open for business. And we hope everybody will come. So I would love to answer questions because I know you have lots of them.
Joy, thank you so much. What a wonderful presentation. I can tell there's a lot of excitement and a lot of interest in this project. So thank you for that. And let us jump right into some questions. I think you answered the first question from Blair, which is the projected date for opening. That's 2023 is closer than we think.
Yes, it is.
I wondered too, by the way, could you speak to how the park is funded? Is it, yeah.
The park is funded by a municipal bond, which was passed in 2019. So right. This was part of, I think it was called Shaping Tomorrow's Future Bonds. So as part of that, $50 million was allocated to the park project.
Fantastic. Well, thanks to everybody who voted for that bond.
Yes, thank you very much.
Can you speak, Joy, to how the various areas that you referred to will be staffed?
Sure. We're actually working on a staffing plan now. I'm the general manager, so I will be there running the park. And then we'll have some programming staff that will be doing, there's kind of two things. We've got the operations people in the program. The operations make the park run and make sure that when you come, everything's great. The programming staff create the things that you do when you get there. So we'll have a combination of that with some part-time staff as well. And we're right in the middle of trying to figure out how many staff we need and what they look like.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Another question was, obviously there are a lot of different elements to this, the bar, the various pieces that you described. Have there been any concerns about competition with local businesses that are already on Academy Street or others downtown? And have you addressed those?
Yeah, sure. We've had lots of conversations about that. And we've actually been in discussion at some points with some of local businesses. We have a food and beverage consultant that we brought in to help us with our operational plan. Our intention is never to compete. And that's one of the reasons why we chose not to go with a traditional hamburger stand. We don't really want to be a restaurant. There'll be some restaurants in the Walker project. There's lots of restaurants downtown. But if we can do something that is a grab and go that supports people that are already, businesses that are already in downtown, then I think that we feel like we've really succeeded. And with the bar, we definitely want to support the local breweries downtown. You know, maybe one month we highlight Bond Brothers beer, or we highlight Fortnite, or you know, Cotton House. So we want to make sure that we're able to support what is springing up downtown and not compete with it. So we're looking for ways to do that.
Yeah, thank you, Joy. It's clear this is going to be a regional attraction too, so I'm sure it's going to bring a lot more people into the downtown area that wouldn't have come otherwise, and benefit everyone with that. So great. You referenced the Walker project, and we were wondering about how much affordable housing is going to be provided in the overall development. Are you aware?
In the Walker project specifically? I don't know. I don't know. I know that they are not, the apartments are for rent. They are not purchase apartments.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a, like, there's condos that are being built on the opposite side of Park Street, which are for purchase. So it's a bit of a different construct in that they're just rentals and not condos for purchase.
Mhm.
But I don't know if they specifically set aside any that are, you know, specific for affordable housing.
Right. Yeah, and there was a related question to that, the tie-in with Cary's affordable housing initiative. So be interesting to know. Kudos on the putting green. That looks very fun.
And we're excited about that.
And kudos on having thought this through so thoroughly, as Tim mentioned. Well done. Looks like a really fun and exciting plan. Another question we had was, will the town Parks and Recreation folks run the children and the sports amenities, or do you know how that's going to function at this time?
We will. The staff, I actually work for Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Resources. And so the staff will fall under me, and then we will still be under the Parks and Recreation and Cultural Resources Department. So we're going to be using a lot of the current staff that we already have to do some programming. You know, we have people that program yoga and art classes all the time. So we're going to use the expertise that we already have in-house so that we're not reinventing the wheel and we're using our resources efficiently.
Great. Thank you, Joy. Well, I think those are all the questions that we have. Let me turn it over to Frank Shell, who will extend our thanks on behalf of the club.
Joy, thank you for a great program. When I first started working in Cary in about 2004, and the park was just in its early discussion. So it's really exciting to see it underway. And thanks for all you're doing to make that happen. As a gift for you, we have a set of note cards that have pictures of different pen and ink drawings of different places in Cary. The drawings were done by our member, Jerry Miller.
Oh, that's sweet.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's very kind.
Awesome. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Joy. Great job.
Thank
Always
you.
a pleasure. That's exciting. I cannot wait.
And I see there's one other question about these slides being on the Town of Cary website. If you guys go to townofcary.org/downtown park, there are lots of information and images on that website, so you can find them there.
Great. Thank you, Joy.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Have a great day. All right, now for moving on to our attention for next week, Mr. John Hatcher, also known as the Deacon, will be hosting Jim Kane, former ambassador to Denmark. This will be another huge meeting, and I think Bob Griffin might want to say a few words about this.
Well, Scott, thank you. I just wanted to mention, you know, our programs are always so strong. And in particular, over the last several weeks, we've had sessions of a lot of general interest. So to the extent that members would like to invite others to attend, either for the purposes of introducing them as potential members to the club, or even just because they think they might have an interest in the program, all are welcome. And so I'll put this in my weekly note, but if you wish to share with a person the link that you receive from me, that will operate just fine if you forwarded that by email. Just to keep our minimal security in place, we ask you not to post it on Facebook or other public places, but feel free to share that link to anybody that you would like to join us. And my only other request is, if you do have a guest, please let me know that they'll be linking in and we can recognize them appropriately. Thanks, Scott.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob. That's fantastic. The more the merrier, guys and gals. So appreciate everybody's help on that. In 2 weeks, Pat Hudson will be hosting Christy Perrin, North Carolina Sea Grant. This will be an exciting program as well. A lot of useful information will be coming out of that program. I'm very happy to report we do have a full inventory of meals that have been set up by McGregor. I'm very happy to let you all know that next week's in-person meal will be chicken parmesan over rotini pasta with broccoli. Fantastic. Come and enjoy it. I hear it's going to be fantastic. And if you're on Zoom, you're joining on Zoom, that's fine. Captain's choice, no change there. And so once again, would like to thank everybody for visiting today, today's meeting. A lot of good information has come out. I will say, I wanted to mention as a public service announcement that we have one of our members who will be celebrating a birthday on Friday. And so as a heads up to Dr. Bruce Howell, I would like to let him know he will be celebrating on Friday his 39th birthday. So Dr. Howell, happy pre-birthday. We hope you enjoy your day. And I missed two from the previous week. Jim Lovejoy, of course, had a famous celebration. I talked to him personally yesterday. He has fully recovered from the weekend. So that's good news. And Reggie Scales celebrated a birthday on March 6th. Wish Reggie, I know he had a fantastic birthday as well. And I'm sorry I missed those two birthdays. Lastly, I'm going to finish up with Bob and Bonnie Lyerly, who on March 7th celebrated 51 years of marriage. Outstanding. Congratulations. And so a lot to be thankful for, a lot to celebrate, a lot to look forward to. And as always, I'd like to ask Mr. Paul Weselkevich, I love that last name, Weselkevich, to lead us out in the four-way test. Paul?
Of the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all? Sorry. Thank you.
Very good, Paul. Thank you so much for that. Ding, ding. The meeting has ended. However, we will leave this Zoom format open. If people would like to chat among one another, ask questions, see how people are doing, check in, do that. And I wish everybody the most fabulous rest of today and a famous rest of the week. Thank you so much. I'll see you.